What if I told you that you could get the absolute core of a world-class business education, but without that crushing six-figure price tag? Well, that's the incredibly bold promise of Josh Kaufman's book, The Personal MBA. And in this explainer, we're going to dive deep and break down its most powerful, most actionable lessons.
All right, so let's just get right to it. Do you really need to take on a mountain of debt and put your life on hold for 2 years just to learn business? Josh Kaufman's answer to that is a huge, emphatic no. And he didn't just say it, he literally wrote the book to prove it.
See, the whole idea here is that business isn't some secret handshake or a complicated language that's only for the elite. It's actually a set of universal principles and skills that really anyone can learn. This book is all about giving you a practical, accessible path to get those fundamentals down without all the usual barriers.
Now this is a pretty spicy take, right? Kaufman argues that real success doesn't come from a fancy degree. It comes from applying these core principles out in the real world. He's basically challenging the entire system, saying that business schools are just really good at picking winners who are already on their way up, not actually creating them.
So here's our game plan. We're going to explore the heart of the book, this 5-part framework. We'll cover everything from creating value and marketing it to sales, finance, and then we'll wrap up with what might be the most crucial piece of all, mastering yourself.
Okay, so this is the absolute core of the Personal MBA. It's a simple but really profound idea. Every single successful business, I don't care if it's a local coffee shop or a global giant like Apple, is built on the exact same 5 interdependent processes. Get these 5 down and you've basically mastered business.
I love this quote because it just cuts through all the noise. Think about it. If you're not creating something people actually want, that's a hobby. If you can't get anyone to notice it, it's a flop. If you can't sell it, well, that's a nonprofit. If you don't deliver on your promise, it's a scam. And if you're not making enough money to keep the lights on, you're out of business. It has to be the whole package.
And boom, here they are. Think of this as the operating system for literally any business. Value creation, marketing, sales, value delivery, and finance. This is it. This is the whole shebang. We're going to break down each one and see how they all work together to create a profitable system that actually works.
All right, first up, you got to start at the beginning, right? Before you can market anything, before a single dollar changes hands, you have to make something that people genuinely want or need. So let's talk value creation and marketing.
So, what is value creation? It's pretty simple, really. It's about finding a problem, a frustration or a desire, and then building the solution. The classic example is Airbnb. The founders noticed this problem. Whenever there was a big conference, all the hotels were jacked up in price and totally sold out. Their solution? They rented out air mattresses on their living room floor. They created value where there was none before.
Okay, so how do you know what people will actually want? Well, the secret is to tap into these core human drives. The best businesses on the planet don't just sell you a thing, they fulfill a deep fundamental need. Does your idea help people acquire stuff or status? Does it help them connect with others, feel safe? The more of these drives your offer hits, the more irresistible it's going to be.
Now, you might have a brilliant idea, but is it a viable business? This is where things get really practical. Kaufman gives us this 10-point checklist to score an idea. So instead of just guessing, you can actually rate your concept on things like urgency, how big the market is, and what you could realistically charge. If you score over 75, you've probably got a real winner on your hands. It takes you from, I think this is a good idea, to, okay, the numbers say this could actually work.
All right, so you've built something valuable. Awesome. But now you've got a new problem. How do you get people to actually notice you in a super crowded world? And for that, we need to talk about a purple cow. The idea from Seth Godin is simple. You drive past a field of brown cows, you don't even notice them. But if you saw a purple cow, you'd stop the car, take a picture, and tell everybody about it. Your marketing needs to be that purple cow.
A perfect modern example? Tesla. Think about it. They spend almost nothing on traditional ads. Why? Because their marketing is the insane product launches. It's a Cybertruck window getting smashed. It's Elon Musk's social media. They built a brand so remarkable that people can't stop talking about it. They are the purple cow of the car industry for sure.
Okay, so people are talking. The buzz is real. That's great, but buzz doesn't pay the rent, right? Now we've got to turn all that attention into actual revenue. And then, and this part is so important, we have to deliver on our promises so well that our customers turn into our biggest fans. When we hear the word sales, a lot of us think of some pushy, high-pressure tactic, right? But that's not what modern sales is about. It's about building trust. Just think about walking into an Apple store. No one's jumping on you to buy something. They let you play with the products, they answer your questions, they build a relationship. The sale is just the natural, easy next step.
All right, this is a big one for a lot of people. Pricing. How do you put a number on your thing without just pulling it out of thin air? Well, here are 4 solid ways to think about it. You can look at what it would cost to replace, you can see what competitors charge, you can project its future earnings, or, and this is often the most powerful, you can price it based on the unique value it provides to your specific customer. It's a framework, not a guess.
And this right here, this is where so many businesses totally drop the ball. You have to remember, the sale isn't the finish line, it's the starting gun. Value delivery is everything that happens after they say yes, from shipping to customer service. This is what determines whether they buy once or become a customer for life.
You want a killer example of this? Zappos. They built an entire empire on customer service. Here's what they did. They would promise you standard 3 to 7 days shipping, but then they would secretly upgrade almost every single order to free overnight shipping. That one little move, that surprise, that moment of delight created an army of loyal fans that no amount of advertising could ever buy.
So you can have a killer product and raving fans, but if the engine room of your ship is a total mess, you are going to sink. And that engine room, that's your finance and your systems. Without these, even the best business will eventually just grind to a halt.
You know, finance can sound super intimidating, but at its heart, it really just boils down to one simple question. Are you bringing in more money than you're spending? That's it. And the key number to watch is your profit margin. For every single dollar that comes in the door, how many cents do you actually get to keep? Without a healthy profit margin, you're not running a business. You're just busy.
Now, if you want to grow your revenue, it's not magic. There are literally only 4 ways to do it. You can get more customers. You can sell more stuff to your existing customers each time they buy. You can get them to buy from you more often, or you can raise your prices. That's it. That's the whole playbook. Every single growth tactic you've ever heard of falls into one of these 4 buckets.
So why does systems matter so much? Because you can't be everywhere at once. Systemization is how you scale. It's how you turn the way I do things into the way we do things. Think about Google's search algorithm. It's not a person answering your questions. It's an incredibly complex system, and they are constantly tweaking it over 500 times a year to make it better. That's the power of a great system.
There's this great quote from a management guru named W. Edwards Deming, and it's so true. Basically, if everything is just in your head, then you can't improve it, you can't teach it, and you definitely can't scale it. Having documented systems is what separates a freelancer from a true business owner.
Okay, so we've gone through the 5 big pieces of the business puzzle. We've got the whole external framework down. But Kaufman argues that there's a 6th, kind of invisible element that holds the entire thing together. And that final ingredient is you.
This is the million-dollar question for any entrepreneur or leader. You've built this amazing machine, but who's at the controls? You are. At the end of the day, your energy, your focus, your decisions, you are the biggest bottleneck in your own business. How you manage yourself is every bit as important as how you manage your cash flow. So how do you actually work on yourself? He gives some great no-fluff tips. First, the basics, your personal gas tank. We're talking diet, sleep, exercise. This isn't optional, it's your fuel. Second, aim for mono-idealism, which is just a fancy word for getting into that deep focus state, the zone. And finally, every single day, figure out your 2 or 3 most important tasks, the things that will actually move you forward, and do them first.
And really, this kind of brings us to the whole spirit of the book. The point isn't just to memorize a bunch of facts from a textbook. The goal is to be a lifelong learner. Every new skill you pick up, whether it's writing a better email or just managing your own energy, it opens up brand new doors.
So if there is one single thing you walk away with today, please let it be this. Business is not rocket science. It's not some magic talent that you're either born with or you're not. It is a skill. And just like any other skill, it can be learned, it can be practiced, and it can be mastered.
And there you have it, a whirlwind tour of the Personal MBA. If you found these ideas valuable, please do me a quick favor, like, subscribe, And maybe share it with a friend or a family member who's looking to upgrade their life. Because really, the most important investment you can ever make is in yourself. Thanks for watching.